Hello, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. The flavour of today is going to be splits. It is spring, the sun is beaming down after torrential rain this morning, and all the bees are out and happy as Larry. Last week we saw that quite a few colonies of mine are quite full. They're filling 2 brood boxes, and when it gets to that stage, I don't really want to put supers on. I don't really want spring honey. Spring honey isn't the best for me. It crystallises too soon, so I like summer honey. So I tend to use spring as a way of filling out boxes, getting more colonies ready for the summer flow and getting them built up and ready. So the aforementioned split, what is it? That is when a beekeeper wants to increase how many colonies they have. On paper, they seem quite easy. You take one box off the other and put a new floor on and a new roof. Sorted. You've got 2 colonies there full of bees in the box. There are some intricacies when it comes to doing splits that will increase the chances of the split going well, of a healthy queen emerging and going off getting mated and creating a nice healthy colony ready for summer. I'll be going through these tips and tricks as and when I'm doing the video. It is very important before you do splits to know where the colony is up to. You don't want to split a weak colony. You want a colony that's very, very strong, that's almost ready to swarm, and then that's perfect for you to do splits with. Right, let's get cracking. So this is the stingy hive from last week. This colony is ready and raring to be split. That's what we found out last week. We went through, it has got a couple of frames empty, but so we'll just have a quick look. But my guess is that these bees have probably filled those frames by now. Remember to look for the queen. Can't see the queenie. Put this down. And remember the other rule, always start from the bottom box. So last week we had about 4 frames not touched, and we've got 2 frames not touched, so it means that the bees are expanding sideways. I'd probably say that this colony is ready for splitting, but what we need to do before we do any sorts of splits is we need to make sure that the colonies are well balanced. Splitting is also dependent on whether you have 1 apiary or 2. If you are moving a colony from 1 apiary to another that's 3 miles away, that's fine. You can probably just leave the bees that are in there, don't have to worry whatsoever. Whereas if you are in the same apiary, you need to be careful because flying bees will go from the split that you've just taken and fly back to the original hive. So you'll end up with a very strong hive and a very weak hive. And you don't want to do that, especially if the weak hive is the one without the queen. The way to fix that is by shaking more bees into the split. That means that more and more bees will be in there, so as the flying bees come back to the original, there should be enough nurse bees that don't fly still left in the split. These guys are still struggling a little bit with moisture, although it is a lot drier than it was last week, so that's good. Let's have a look at what's going on in here. Nothing in that frame. So, as I said, we're wanting to even these out before we do a split. So that means that they're going to have the same amount of brood, same amount of food, and same amount of space that's left over. There is lots of nectar in here. The bees have definitely found a nectar source. You can see it all there, nice and shiny in the cells, and the bees are all tending to it. Brilliant. So that means that this colony is probably going to start filling up very soon. That's good. So we've got 1 frame of nectar. Something like here. I don't have a tool. There it is. Break that apart. In here we have more nectar and lots of eggs as well. So it's not important when you're doing a split to find the queen, really. At the end of the day, if you move 1 box from the other, you just need to wait for a couple of days and one of the boxes will end up with queen cells and the other box will end up with eggs. And that's how you find out which one's got the queen in. That's literally it. That's how easy it is. You don't really need to find the queen. Now, if you do find the queen, though, it does make things a lot easier, especially if you need to shake bees off to fill up the split. Because it means that you know that you're not going to shake the queen into the split. Say you're doing nukes for queen rearing. It makes things a lot better because it means that you're not going to kill off that lovely new larvae that you just popped into the nuke by putting the queen in there. So, can't see the queen. Again, I'm not hugely looking, but that's 1 frame of brood. So I'm just going to put little B to say what's on there. Say brood, because what we want to do is have the same number of brood in each box. So look what's in here. You have lots of eggs as well. The eggs are on the side, so I think the queen is elsewhere. Well, she should be anyway. This frame is full to the brim with pollen. So that is incredible. So from last week when I was worried about pollen and the lack of, look at all this. So this has all happened in a week. They've absolutely filled this to the brim. Amazing. So that is perfect. If I can have a frame like that in the box that is going to be the split, means that the bees will have a lot more pollen, a lot more protein to produce a very, very good and healthy queen. So that's what you want. Make sure that that's going to go into the split. So for that one, I'm going to do a P. So what I don't want to do really is shake these bees off the frames. The reason for that is that I want a nice even distribution. So I'm going to put a P here, away from that number. There we go, P. So that's a good pollen frame. Lovely brood, capped brood, so that's good. With splits, you want to give them predominantly capped brood, apart from a few eggs and larvae. And the reason for that is that capped brood produces heat. So like the bees around them, where they fan and stuff like that, they produce heat, so does capped brood. Larvae don't really. Larvae can get frozen and they can die and get chilled. It's always good if you're going to do a split, especially if it's one in the same apiary and the bees are going to fly off. It's always good to give them lots of heat producing capped brood. They will need larvae to produce a queen, but it's just good to give them a bit of a buffer. I've put a bee on that one. Right, I'm going to get my smoker just because they're getting a bit... They're not attacking me, but they're just congregating over the frames and it's just a bit... I don't want anyone to get hurt really. So this is another brood frame. It's full of eggs and capped brood as well. I'm just going to go slowly with this one, by the way, just to show you what to do, and then with the other ones, hopefully I'll go quicker. So yeah, this is another brood frame. Cool. Let's put B down. So we're running on 1, 2, 3 frames of brood and 1 big frame of pollen. And we've got nectar as well. In fact, I'm going to put an N on that frame so we know it's nectar. So look. There we go. Ow! Flip. So if you get stung, smoke your thumb. This does 2 things. 1, the heat stops it from hurting, or that's what happens with me anyway. And 2, the smoke gets rid of the sting pheromone that will be surrounding your sting area. So it's going to smoke it and it's going to mask it. But that hurt, that one. That's my 2nd sting of the year, but I'm not going to hide it from you. But this is full of capped brood. It's looking good. They're packing pollen in this one as well, so they're doing a really good job with that. So I'm going to put a B on this one as well. So we're doing really well for brood. This is another brood frame, full of lovely, lovely larvae. Some brood. So these guys are going to explode very soon. So it's probably for the best that I am knocking them down a bit. This is another lovely frame of pollen. Wowee. This is better than the other one. Might give this one to the split. Lovely. And that's full of nectar as well. So pollen, and nectar. Right, so this is going to be my split over here. So I don't actually have to put the box on here because I'm splitting it, so I don't really care. And as I said before, I don't care which one has the queen in. This box could have the queen, I just haven't seen it. That could have a queen over there, and I don't care. This is what we call a walkaway split. This is one where you don't give a monkeys. All you care about is increasing the colony size. One of them will have the queen, one of them won't. The one that has the queen will have eggs when you come to it next week. The one that doesn't will have capped cells. It's the simplest and quickest split that you can possibly do. It requires very little effort. It's great. Let's do that. This is empty, so I'm just going to put an E here. So let's put a floor over there, put that box on, and we'll have a look over there as well. Right, so I've got a floor here. Because I'm doing a split, I need to find a way of sealing it, so I'm going to steal this entrance block here that's been blocked off. Close that here. Now, this should have the perfect amount of bees for filling this box. Ooh, it's getting dark, I hope it doesn't rain. I'm looking around, and yeah, we've got maybe 2 seams that aren't super full, but there are bees in there. So this is pretty much a full box. This is perfect. So what we're always looking for is brood, food, and space. That's what a split needs, that's what a colony needs. And this has loads of nectar right here. So that's good. It means that this is going to have food for this split, which is perfect. So look, that's another one that's full of nectar and with a bit of honey in the middle. So that's quite a lot of food there. So what we don't want to do is fill them up too much with food. So what I might have to do is swap some frames around with the box over there. Again, this is nectar, so I'm just going to write this down here. So put some ends on, nectar, nectar. So I'm probably going to swap frames around, and that's fine, you can do. Let's have a look. Oh, this is a very full frame. It's got some drone brood in it, but yeah, it's full of honey. So this is a frame that I should really give to a nuke at some point. But we'll see how they deal with it with the split. So far it's 3 frames of food, whereas that box over there had loads of brood by now. So let's have a look. So right now we've got some, so we've got some brood here, capped brood, with eggs in the middle. And they are eggs that are standing up, so the queen might be here. Again, I don't really care if I find the queen or not. If I do, then it makes life a bit easier. If I don't, then it doesn't really matter. I'm not fussed. It's interesting. Some of these eggs are laid on the wall rather than on the bottom. But it is a healthy queen because there's healthy brood in there. Again, there's lots of food. But this is a frame full of eggs. That's perfect. That's what we want. We want capped brood, and we want some eggs as well. So that's what the new queen is going to be made from, is those eggs. Got some more brood here. And more eggs. And all this brood here looks like it's trying to hatch. So that is really good. That means that this colony is going to get a massive boost of nurse bees, and that's what you want. You want good nurse bees, because good nurse bees means a good, healthy queen is produced. Oh, and I found the queen, so that's made my life 10 times easier. So I'm going to catch her. Oop, let's try not get you lost. Because what I can do now is I can cage her. Well, I can mark her as well, so I can find the thing. Come on, what you get? But it means I can cage her, and it means I can just go hell for leather, doing whatever I want with the colony. Moving frames left, right and centre, shaking bees left, right and centre, and I'll know exactly where the queen is, so it means that I know which colony has a queen and which one doesn't. And I'd prefer for the split not to have a queen. Again, it didn't really matter. I'm only doing this because this has occurred. I've found her, and I'll show you her now. There she is. Look at her. She's a beautiful queen, lovely markings, definitely from Hive Laura. That's definitely a daughter of Hive Laura's, just because how beautiful she is, and those markings are just, yeah, amazing. Right, so I'm just going to mark her very quickly. It's the wrong year, so I've only got blues at the moment, and that's this year's. So it might be a bit confusing later on, but I need to mark her just so I can find her a bit easier later on if I need to find her. So if you can see, I am going to just hold her steady, and just with a little dot, make sure you do a little dot on your hand first so you don't put too much of a blob on her. And then I'm just going to mark her with a little dot. Just dab, 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 dab. And then I'm going to just let her walk about like that. Means that she can still breathe and stuff, and I'm just going to let the ink dry. But now I've got her, I've marked her, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep her in this cage, but I'm going to put her over where there's brood in the box. That means that it's going to be kept nice and warm, and she's not going to freeze or get too cold. It's about 14-15 degrees today, so it shouldn't be too cold for her, but I just don't want to risk it. So I'm going to leave her there. She's going to go in that box eventually, but we're just going to have a quick look. So this is another frame of brood. So this is a great frame of brood. Lots of capped brood, lots of eggs. So we've got some brood here. Bee, bee, bee. Lots of brood. That's good. Want it to be even Stevens. Now, what I'm probably going to do is move one of those nectar frames for a pollen frame. But look at that, wowee. So I don't know if you can see that from where you are, but that is a stunning frame of capped brood. She's definitely got back into the laying pattern again. I had a little minor worry about her last week, just because I found a few frames where she's gone a bit doolally and missed some cells. But yeah, she's definitely doing a lot better now. Yeah, this is great. This is another frame of capped brood and eggs in the middle. Perfect. So that means that this is going to be perfectly fine. Another brood frame. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames of brood. All we need now really is a frame of pollen, and I'd probably say that this colony is ready to go. What I might do is I might shake a few more bees in there, just because as I've left it, flying bees have flown back to the hive over there. Another frame of capped brood. This one as well. Okay, watch out bees. So when you're putting frames down, just do a little wiggle. Just close it slowly and do a little wiggle with them. It avoids you from squishing bees, because no one wants to squish bees. It's not why we do this hobby. and it also just makes sure that there's enough room that no one's going to get squashed anywhere else. Right, so this is lots of nectar here. Our brood in the middle. This looks like there's such a nectar flow that it is pushing the brood down. So as the bees are hatching out, they're filling up those cells with nectar. So that means that these guys are probably going to run out of brood soon. Although, saying that, this frame also has loads of pollen. So I don't need to worry about swapping out pollen frames, I don't think. It's doing a really good job here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to close this off here and put a P on here for pollen. And we'll have another look. So these guys are going to have lots and lots of food. And this is a empty frame on this side, and they're filling this up with nectar on this side. So these guys have got lots of food. 1, 2, 3 lots of food, full of brood, and we've got a good pollen frame as well. So these guys are perfect for doing a split with. I found the queen, so I know she's not in here, and that's kind of what I wanted. I'd prefer the queens to stay where I want them and where the original hive is. But if she had gone to the other apiary, that's not a big problem. That's not a massive problem for me. You can see the bees over here are clustering around her because they want to make sure that she's safe and happy. And she's safe and happy. In fact, one bee's already got inside to make sure she's okay. Interesting. So yeah, I'm going to move this to the original hive over here. Probably going to shake maybe 1 or 2 frames into here just to make sure this is full of bees, ready and raring. And then I'm going to close it off and then leave them be until I transport myself over to the other apiary. But that's good. Hello, bees. Right, put the queen here for a second. Right, brood frames. So when you're doing shaking with bees and you're shaking them off frames to fill up your other splits and stuff like that, you want to shake brood frames because that's where the nurse bees are going to be. When you do splits, you want as many nurse bees as possible, just because those are the ones that like to feed the queen and all the larvae. So this is a brood frame here. So we're going to shake that in over here. There we go. Now flying bees are fine. These bees are flying off and they'll fly back to the original hive over here. The nurse bees can't fly though, so they'll stay down here and they'll be like, whoa, what are we doing over here? If you can choose a frame that has more larvae on it, that'll have more nurse bees on as well. So I'm just going to shake this off. The nurse bees will go down, the flying bees will fly off. Don't worry about the flying bees. And now I'm at the original hive. I'm just going to release the queen here and let the bees take her. So there she is, lovely blue dot on her. Where are you going, love? Down you go. There she is, blue dot. And she's going to make her way down. And now I know that this colony is nice and safe. Now, because this colony is very, very strong and it's got a lot of brood, I'm actually going to super it. Even though I've just taken half the bees away, I'm going to super it up. Whereas this colony, I'm not. I'm just going to put a frame in and close it up, and it's going to be hunky-dory. So it's got lots of food, so I don't need to worry about it starving. As I said, if the flying bees fly out, that's fine as well, because they're just going to go back to the original hive over there. As for this hive, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to put a super on because it makes it a bit more difficult to transport. But also, they're not going to be expanding. Any bees that are produced, they're going to expand, I guess. But then there's no one laying eggs. They're not going to be able to swarm. There's no queen to swarm with. So these guys are safe to get as full as possible in here. Plus, when there's loads of bees in here, it means that there's more hands to create a good, healthy queen. So that is good. So I'm going to put a roof on these guys and ratchet them closed and get them ready for transport. The super that I'm going to stick on these guys is going to be another brood box. The reason for that is that it's still spring and I may get another split out of these before the end of the spring flow. So here comes the brood box. And I'll put this roof on. It's not the original roof. That's fine. Still do. Done. Well, there you are. That's how you do a split. I think I've done an okay job of going through it bit by bit and going through the intricacies. In simple terms, it's just separating half the colony from the other. You're doing a swarm in essence, but what you're doing is you're taking some frames of food brood and you're leaving a lot of space for the original hive and the original queen. If you don't find the queen, as I said before, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Whichever box ends up having eggs in after a few days, that's got the queen in. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. When you're doing a split, you're just doing a split. What I would suggest is whichever is the original hive in the original spot, put super or something on top of that one. because you will have flying bees coming back that you won't have noticed during the day because they're out foraging. They will come back. So even if it's queenless, just put like a super on top. If the queen is inside that after a couple of days, put a brood box on instead. What you want to do is create a new colony whilst maintaining the colony that was there originally. That queen will love the new space. The lack of bees will probably spur her into laying up more as well. So that's really good. With the split, leave it for a week. Let the bees create some queen cells, and they're going to create a lot of them. And they're going to be emergency queen cells, so they'll literally be everywhere there was possibly brood that could have been a queen. It's your job after a week to knock down the rubbish looking cells. So you'll get some cells that are all like higgledy-piggledy and stuff like that. Knock them down. You want a nice, perfect looking queen cell that's nice and straight. It'll have little dimples all over it. It'll look, if you'd Google perfect queen cell, I swear to God you'll find a perfect queen cell, and just look at all of them and you'll find one in your hive. Knock all the others down. You only want one queen cell for the whole nuke. There's plenty of people who say do 2 queen cells, but that just increases the chance of swarming. I always go with 1 queen cell, and you can always fix it after the fact, as long as you've got your original queen in her normal spot and healthy. Thanks so much for watching my video. It means the absolute world to me. I hope that I've given you some pearls of wisdom, especially if you're a beginner. If not, oh well. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what my hives look like on the inside. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you ASAP. If you did enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. It helps propagate my stuff so I can find more people who want to watch it. If you did really enjoyed it, then please hit the subscribe button. If you want to see what I've been up to in the past year or so and look at some how-to videos that I've made in the past, I've got a full catalogue. It's like over 300 videos now, so I'm pretty sure you'll find what you want somewhere in there. Other than that, I hope you have a really good day and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.